Welcome back to the channel. We're kicking off on a project that is going to be a waterfall that has more water volume going over it than anything I've ever built before. And I think more than anything Tussey has ever built before. Stay tuned, this thing is going to be awesome. So what we've got here is a big earth bottom pond. He had a contractor come in a few years ago, not that long ago, and he put in a really nice intake bay down there, and it does a great job at skimming the pond. I'd say that one was constructed really well, and it has two huge pumps in it. I'm not sure, but I think they were in the vicinity of they were just a touch over 18,000 gallons an hour a piece. For sure about 36,000 gallons an hour coming down there. Possibly more. I have to look at that again. We're gonna let that go. That's working well. Up here he put in filtration, which on a pond this size, with the aeration they have in and the intake bay, I am not even sure that they would have needed to put in that filtration, but whatever the case, it's too small to filter a body of water this size. It's a little underwhelming for the scope of this project, so we're gonna bring in some massive boulders. We're gonna kind of minimize the size of this thing. We're gonna let it in, it's gonna function. It's filled up with a small gravel, so we're gonna scoop a bunch of that out. Right now the way this works is water pumps up from down there and it fills up into this whole area is a wetland. It fills up into here and runs down there into the pond. I'm going to take all of this rock work out. We're going to keep this liner in here. I'm going to do an overlap out of the bog and a big waterfall down into the pond. And then I'm going to put down a heavy felt and I'm going to fill in the edges of this a little bit more so I can place some boulders in it and break up these so that you can't even tell there's a wetland here. The wetland's going to be here, but I don't like this rectangular pad up here. I want to naturalize it. I'm going to be moving waterfall boulders into maybe like right behind these pumps, because these clean outs I kind of need to keep so that we can make at least an effort to clean this thing. So I'm thinking like 7-foot tall waterfall right here, and then we'll build mound back in there and continue it on up. But so I'm thinking I'm going to move the falls into about here, backfill that, and I'm still going to have a big pool here, and some of these big long flat pieces of limestone I'm going to use for stepping stones. We're going to have some natural stone steps coming up, and then I want to walk across the pool here so that you can walk right up to like this giant waterfall, and then maybe continue across the pool here, wrap it around that side of the mound, and create like a little landing spot up in the mound somewhere to interact with some falls that we're going to build on back that way. Does that make sense, Deej? Kind of get the scope of what we're doing. So remember where we took some floating steps and took them right up against the waterfall? Mm-hmm. I'm thinking kind of that. And then Black Hills natural stone up to this pooling area, walk across it, up around to the mound, and then like some landing spots up there. You know what I'm thinking when I say kind of bring in these edges and create something that's not a rectangle.
Yeah, the same way we did at State College.
Yeah. So this wetland I kind of want to undefine into a big pooling area, and then we'll move this in to get the waterfalls closer to the house, so like this whole area. And I'm thinking of just letting that road block in because it holds our liner in. We'll just backfill over it with clean stone, and then you know the next level would be maybe to the top of that rock or something, that rock right there, fill all of that in. Yep. And then it'll just fill up here. I'm thinking of cutting this down. We're actually going to fill some more gravel in so we can hide that berm kind of. Cut this one off and then like put a piece of Black Hills flagstone over it or something. And then like the base of that first waterfall is going to be about right here. Here are our Pennsylvania sandstone boulders. This is not all that we have to work with, but this is the start. as you can see, there's some pretty big chunkers in here, and that's part of the plan. Like this whole idea, we want to kind of try to match the scale. We have a big pond, we have a feature that's pretty far away from the house. We want to build grandiose. So rocks like this, we make that the bottom. We have 5 foot of height there. So, you know, there's some pretty big goodies in here, which is good because we're gonna need them, and I'm actually gonna see if I can get some even bigger ones. That's some nice character there. We'll use it maybe in the bottom. I'm thinking the bottom falls, the one close to the house, I don't have a lot of height to, so I'm thinking of getting a lot of different falls, kind of like a whitewater, you know, falls going every direction. But it's kind of what's in my head right now. Look at this bad boy. Matt was saying this is some pretty dense stone. It's a heavier sandstone than that other source. It said some of these are pretty heavy goonies. It's gonna be fun stuff. Hey, what's up? So this is Wild Big Boulders. I am having a blast. So here's kind of the idea that's going through my head. And as always, these kind of evolve as I build, but this first series of falls, what I have in mind, oh, where do I want to start? So back here, I'm going to set a rock that's going to go about right here, that the water is going to split around. So between the rock that I'm going to set here and this whole thing is going to be a spillway. I'm going to frame from here to here and from here to here. So water is going to converge around that rock into a pool here and then spill out here. And then that's all going to be like this height. Water is going to be spilling over here. And then this boulder is setting down here, but I'm actually going to use a different boulder, but I'm going to set this one and frame a spillway in down here that's actually almost going to fall underneath of this falls. I think like having the 2 points of water converge on each other is going to look pretty wild. And then this boulder, or I'm actually thinking of using another one, but it's going to set behind this boulder, just so below it, because you always want to ground your boulders. The one behind this one, I want set low enough so that you can't see the bottom edge, and it's going to run over here. And I'd like for it to actually curve back behind this one a little bit, all the way front there. And then I want to build a spillway here against this boulder that's going to be here, so it'll spill down in here to a pooling area and then spill out here. So water coming over here, water coming over here, water splitting around a rock here, falling into here, water coming down here. What I'm trying to do is different angles, different elevations, some tall sheet falls, some gushers. I just want all of those different styles of water features. And then last but not least, the orientation of this boulder I'm not completely set on yet. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do, but I do know that I'm going to have a very small thread of water, maybe like 6 inches or 4 inches wide. I'm going to use another rock that's going to frame here again below this one, back to here, and then possibly even another one back to here, so that I can form a little spillway that's going to wrap around here into a pool right here and spill out over here. It's unusual that we can build that wide. I can make a whole series of waterfalls in one drop, and it's awesome and it's fun. What do you think, Deej? Gonna look awesome?
Of course.
Of course, I like that optimism. Now we just need to set them, and I just realized that these bottom falls I'm gonna have to stand in the pond to set. It would have been nice to bring waders. We dug like a 12 inches deep into the bank, and then we put in like 6 inches of number 3 sandstone chunks. I don't know if you can see them over there, but I didn't want to use limestone because you'd actually see that in the pond, and I didn't really want to use river gravel because it seems like kind of a waste, but it just gives a little bit of footer for these to set on. And then our liner is actually going to come behind these rocks, and from here back it's going to set on liner. I have to have that liner for something to foam on, but these are not actually going to be sitting in liner, they're going to be sitting in the pond. So